The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on.
He missed the pit completely. He's crazy
As I
stuff.
said, Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Good evening, race fans. I'm Adam Young. Chicagoland Speedway and the Premier Racing League welcome you to the Iowa 150. We look forward to 150 laps of V8 pick-em-up truck short track racing action. Joining me tonight for the American Pool Supply Truck Series are the Lumberjack, Sean Ambrose, and the man behind the curtain running the show tonight, Joe Peak. He'll be using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. 5 races to go after tonight. That's it. And with some tough tracks on the way, the likes of Brian Yazik will have to keep the momentum going. He was able to capitalize on the misfortunes of Jeff Ward and James Grahula to come away with a win last week at Chicagoland. But now we're at a track where you've got to use that brake a little bit this time. Sean, tell us a little bit about Iowa.
Oh man, I'd love to tell you a little bit about Iowa, just outside the cornfield here. It's 7/8 mile paved oval track here in Newton, Iowa, opened in September 2006. It's just 30 miles east of Des Moines, Iowa, and you know the track was designed with influence from Rusty Wallace and patterned kind of a little bit after Richmond International Raceway. You look at that design there, it's a little familiar, isn't it? Now the track was finally awarded a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series sanction and a nationwide series race back in 2009. And the track has flourished since then. Now the Cup guys still looking for a race here this Thursday night. The Patriot Fire Cup Series, you will get to see them run their Cup cars here. We'll hope you join us then. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC NASCAR Camping World Truck for a trip around Iowa Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik. This is the GSRC Silverado at Iowa Speedway. Fun little 3/4 mile short track right in the heart of America. So down the front stretch for your hot lap, you're going to try to find the bottom right here. Let it float down. There's going to be a big bump right there in the middle of the corner. Let it drive straight off. Not to get back into the gas too quick or the rear will try to meet the front of the truck. Down into turn 3 here. Find the yellow line a little bit, about half a lane off. Don't get back into the gas too quick or the rear will try to jump around again, just as what happened to me. Iowa is going to allow guys to run all over the place. So you're going to see guys maybe take a little higher entry into this corner, maybe run that seam, maybe get off the corner a little straighter. There's a whole lot of options here, but in turns 3 and 4, the best line is going to be right up here next to that wall. Let it roll in, kind of diamond the middle of the corner, get back into the gas on exit, not too hard, and then on a turn 4, down the front stretch. And that's going to complete our track guide at Iowa Speedway. I'm Brian Yazik, and this was the Chevy Silverado.
And Brian Yazik taking you around Iowa Speedway earlier on in the GSRC Silverado, doing a much better job than what Eric Jones did at Charlotte in the NBC car, where he found the stairs on the front straightaway. The car is fine, the driver's fine, stairs not so much. Hey, the race details here for tonight. This is round 26 of 31 on the American Pool Supply Truck Series here for the season. Round 5 of 10 for the fall segment. We're going to go 150 laps around this place here for tonight. There are no faster pairs in the Premier Racing League. And of course, cautions will be on at halfway at lap 75. The drivers will get bonus points for being in the top 10, and that is important. Sean, tell us about this close points race.
Yeah, let's look at the fall standings here first, where you'll see Jeff Ward just barely at the top there. I say barely because James Grahula, with a recent win, has got himself here in championship contention for the fall season. Brian Yazik pretty close himself there in third, just 14 back. Tyler Dalton also in this little battle up here in fourth place. So the top 4 really, really close and challenging that position. Then you look back here at 5th through 9th. You see another really close battle. Heck, we'll go all the way back to 10th where Jeff Gow is. And you see Paulson, Woody Mahan, and John Wilco, Rick Thompson, Stephen Herring, Jeff Gow, all trying to get themselves there to the top 5. Certainly achievable here with just 4 races left in the fall season. Now, let's look at the overall season standings. Now, there you'll find Brian Yazik sitting on top, James Grahula getting just a little bit closer every week. Now only 3 points behind as we come down the stretch. Tyler Dalton with an outside chance there, 57 points back. Then again, we've got another battle, kind of a log jam here in the middle. Rick Thompson, Jeff Gow, Jeff Ward, just a mere 12 points separating those three, occupying 4th, 5th, and 6th. But Christian Johnston, Snoop Doggy Don, Runkle Jr., and John Wilco complete your top 10 for the season standings. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Adam, a good race to kind of shake things up tonight. We've got a short field, so certainly a chance for a couple of drivers here to make a move tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's going to make that American Pool Supply halfway award that much more important once we get to that point. And John Wilke, you saw him on there a couple times, had a fantastic run last time out at Chicagoland. I was going to say how disappointed I was to not see him on the grid here for tonight, but guess who just joined up? We'll see John Wilco out there here for this evening. Qualifying now in full swing. So far on the early top of the leaderboard, surprise, surprise, Jeff Ward's out there. We're on top with that 22.742. So now we get to see if anybody is able to top him. And one guy that might just be able to do something is James Kahula. Well, James Kahula is out there now, 22.882 as far as his last lap time. And I also believe that I saw Brian Yazik pulling out on track here as well, as James Kahula is going to end his qualifying run. We'll watch Brian Yazik as he comes around. Yazik, he kind of had a little bit of a mid-season slump, didn't he, Sean? But trying to get the pace back now.
Yes, he is. It would go a long way with a great qualifying effort here as he's on his out lap, coming around now. Boy, gets it really, really high up and just scuffs the wall coming out of turn 2. Now in turn 3, out of 4. Here he comes across the line for his first time lap. I don't know if it's going to count. He might have gotten a piece of the wall, and unfortunately, that does not register. It does. I take that back. It registers the time. Indeed, it does. It goes all the way up to second.
4 thousandths of a second off of Jeff Ward. Let's see what he's going to be able to do here on his second lap. I think the first lap might be the fastest of the two, but we'll see what he got.
Well, I'll tell you what, loose is fast. Well, he was certainly loose out of turn 2. It looked like he scuffed the wall. Obviously, he did. Now, Jeff Gow coming around here for his second lap.
Speaking of loose.
Okay, well, his first lap's going to have to be the one that counts. That's the one that put him up in 4th. Ouch.
Oh, that was a hospital wobble if I've ever saw one there. And I noticed a couple of guys having problems with in qualifying here. Devin Cannon has wrecked his truck. I've seen Tyler Dalton. He wrecked on his first attempt and had to come back in and get that fresh pickup. And I'm pretty sure they're not the only ones. But I do think it's going to be safe to award the NP3 Designs Pole Award here this evening to Jeff Ward with that 22.741. Watch him pull away here. And Sean, it looks like this could be another night where we got a fast Jeff Ward pickup.
Yeah, definitely. And Ward showing you how to get it done here. Not necessarily all the way down there on the bottom. He likes riding up here along the top as he sets himself up to come down the front straightaway. Got just wide open right here, and like you said before, having to use a little bit of brake just to kind of set that truck up to really turn at him.
Yeah, this track may be 3/4 of a mile, but you're still going 150 miles in the straightaway, and you only have to slow her down to about 120 something, maybe 130 something in the corner. So you're flying all around this place, and Jeff Ward showing how to get that done here for today. You see him drop down, get that really good time right on his first lap, and people are going to have to watch out. That blue pickup is going to be a machine tonight in that Loud Pedal Motorsports truck, and guys got to watch out for the likes of Jeff Ward.
Yeah, listen, don't count out Brian Yazik. You talked about the difference in his qualifying lap. Only 4 1,000ths of a second. Think about that, folks. You can't see 4 1,000ths of a second. Okay, so really, really close. Yazik looks to have some speed. I will tell you just some observations from practice here over the past hour or so. I think grip is going to be a little bit of a problem now. The banking, it's 12 to 14 degrees variable banking here. I almost think maybe there's a little bit more speed than the banking can really compensate for. And what does that mean? Well, I think they're going to be struggling for a little bit of grip. We could see some trouble out of turn 2 and out of turn 4 here this evening on trying to get that power back down.
Well, I think you've already seen it in qualifying with the number of guys that have had some trouble, on just qualifying, just trying to go fast in qualifying. So, where Chicagoland, it seemed like the trucks were very stable up until just 20 laps in a run, and then it was the difference between night and day. Here, I think these guys are going to be loose out of the box for tonight, and you hit the nail on the head about just having more speed than what the banking can handle, and you're making it up from that lateral grip in the tire. Well, that lateral grip doesn't stick around too long, does it?
No, it really doesn't. It doesn't, and boy, I'll tell you what, I think they'll be wanting tires every chance they can get them here tonight. We'll see. Now, the Sunday night races, those could always be a little bit tricky. They could either be feast or famine. This is the first time this week they're seeing the track. You wonder if maybe some of these guys, did they take advantage of the 2-hour practice session or didn't they? And only those who did, or maybe even got some practice independently, which you're never sure how much of that can happen. But, some guys might get left behind here early. It is only just a short trip around this track. If a green flag run starts up, maybe we start seeing the back of the field pretty quick.
And that very well could be the case. But with 13 trucks, well, I have a feeling we're going to see that top half of the field pretty darn competitive here for tonight. Well, I hope you're getting settled in, because we are going to have 150 laps of truck action here tonight at Iowa on GSRC in the American Pool Supply Truck Series, brought to you by the Premier Racing League. And what an exciting time to be part of the PRL with some of the things that they've got going on. But you know what? I think we're getting pretty close. I do see the Des Moines Fire Department color guard beginning to come on track. They've made the 30-mile trip over from Des Moines to present tonight's colors. And there is the national anthem of the United States, and we're about ready to go racing here tonight at Iowa. Well, let's go ahead and get to that grid here, and Jeff Ward on the pole. Brian Yazik's going to start alongside him. Sean?
Devin Cannon going to start third this evening. Now, the Canadian Jeff Gow going to start fourth. I wonder, should I sing "Oh Canada" for everybody real quick?
Well, Iowa, we're almost far enough north to do that, I think. James Krahula starting in fifth in row 3. Tyler Dalton starting alongside him in sixth position.
All right, and then we're going back to row 4. It's going to be Justin Rodden and Derek Paulson.
Jeff Ryan and John Rodden are going to make up row 5 tonight.
It's the tale of two Roddens again this evening. All right, row 6, Mark Nobert and Roger Wilco.
What? Don Oracle Jr. is in 12th.
Okay.
John Wilco, I had to give you a hard time, Sean. That was the best way to do it. John Wilco coming off that fantastic run at Chicagoland Speedway last time out. He's going to start without putting a time on the grid in practice or qualifying. We'll see how well he does. Stephen Herring's going to start shotgun on the field here for tonight. And just wait for the trucks to roll off here at this point. Sean, it might be a small field, but as we saw last time at Chicagoland, small field does not necessarily mean it won't be a good show.
Okay, so I've been told that when I bungle something up, I should just admit what I bungled up, okay? I was looking at my timing and scoring, which does not necessarily show the same thing that our wonderful graphic does. So note to self, next time, I'll be looking at our wonderful, carefully prepared graphic to make sure I call the starting order. That being said, you know what? Boy, this is going to be a bit of a challenge now. It's only 14 trucks, but I have a feeling there may be one or two guys that are not prepared to run this track. Iowa's very tricky. It's a bull ring, and these trucks have a lot of horsepower. Adam, if I was a betting man, I think it's probably going to come down to the man that no one's been able to seem to beat here recently, and that's Jeff Ward. But you know what? Don't count out somebody like a James Krahula or a Tyler Dalton tonight. Krahula's certainly on a hot streak recently, and he's feeling pretty good these days. So I don't know. We'll see if that translates to the track here before the night is over.
And Tyler Dalton's always capable of coming home with very consistent finishes if he's able to stay out of trouble. So usually ends up trying to be a factor somewhere in the top 5 in these races. It does look like that, at least at this point, unless he starts from the pits, John Wilco will not make the start here for tonight. Lights are off on the pace car. Let's see. Usually they get 2 laps in here. They should. So we should be good here for the 2 laps we normally get on short tracks, and so we'll get an extra trip around here. Now, as far as you mentioned, we noticed that Jeff Ward started out on the high line on his qualifying run, but turns 1 and 2, that can be pretty bumpy up there, ain't it, Sean?
Yeah, you know what? There is actually a part there of the track. You hit the right part of the track. It's very, very bumpy. A big washboard, and it could do just really, really dangerous things to the vehicle. So you've got to be a little careful. Have to have a pretty good memory of where that's at. Same kind of thing with 3 and 4 too. There is a little spot in the track there, right in the middle of the center of the turn, where you've got to watch yourself. There's a pretty good bump there.
And definitely going to have to watch out if you find yourself in a 3-wide situation. And Iowa has seen its share of 3-wide racing in the past. Yes, the track is wide enough. The question is going to be, how wide are you going to make your truck in those situations? Well, we'll just wait for that pace car to pull off here. Mustang pace car about ready to do just that as it's rounding 3 and 4. There it goes. Jeff Ward waiting. He's on the loud pedal, on that loud pedal motorsports machine. He is away. He looks like he's going to get a clean start and a clean look going down to the turn 1. Brian Yasek right behind him. We go back to 3rd and 4th. Jeff Gow and Devin Cannon going at it. They're fighting side by side.
Just behind them, you've got Krahula, Tyler Dalton having a nice little run there. Krahula down on the bottom. Dalton there up top. Krahula going to get position on him here. Coming across the stripe just in front of them, Jeff Gow goes up to 3rd. Dropping Cannon there 1.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, Jeff Ward's starting to pull away just a little bit from Brian Yasek. Jeff Gow and Devin Cannon still going at it. Devin Cannon going to get a look here. Jeff Gow seems like he likes that slightly higher line earlier on, and it's really giving him some momentum carrying off the edge of the corners there.
Okay, so things have spread out just a little bit here early. Jeff Ryan has actually already picked up a spot back here in 8th. He got by Derek Paulson, working down to the bottom here beneath the 23 of Justin Rodden. Jeff Ryan trying to pick up another spot here early. Doesn't get it across the stripe. Can he get it down in turn 1? No, he's going to settle in behind. Doesn't want to dig too hard here early. Got to take care. Got to have a little responsibility with these tires here early.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, because you can slide around and kill your tires in no time. Just want to go back up front here real quick. I hate to leave this battle, but I really want to show everybody something with Jeff Ward. Look how far he's diving down into the corners compared to just about everybody else. Now, Yazik follows him down low in 1 and 2, but watch Yazik stay high here through 3 and 4, while Jeff Ward still sticks to the bottom. Does Jeff Ward know something everybody else doesn't, or is he just going to burn up his tires faster?
You know what? Ward's a pretty responsible driver. I think maybe he knows something maybe some of us don't here at this point. There's Krahula there, working outside of Cannon.
And just to update everybody, Don Runkle Jr., I don't believe actually took the start. John Wilco did come out on track. He is turning a few laps, but it might be a start and park for John Wilco out there, judged by his actions right now. So it looks like this will be a 12-truck race once everything is said and done. Looking at John Wilco there on pit road. Meanwhile, back up front, did James Krahula looking underneath Devin Cannon. Is he going to be able to complete the pass here? That high line seems to be the way to carry some speed, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold him off here, at least to the start-finish line, and James Krahula is going to pull back in line. But he's got Tyler Dalton right behind him. Tyler looking a little hungry here early.
Yeah, you know what, though? Early on, though, it does look like the way around, the fast way around, is to start your run off the top and then get yourself down the track, kind of run it down the hill just a bit. Trying to leave yourself down on the bottom through the turn doesn't seem to be nearly as effective right now as we saw that attempt Krahula made there at Devin Cannon and kind of really failed miserably for him. And now Krahula finds himself having to get back to work here. Dalton, though, is having a good run just behind him.
Dalton going to do what he needs to do to try to pick those guys off one by one, as James Krahula just can't do anything with Devin Cannon here just yet. But that's it's still pretty early. We're only 10 laps now into this race. You can see just how fast these laps do click off here at Iowa, as long as we're able to stay green in the process of doing that. And so right now, that's your battle on the racetrack right there between Cannon, Krahula, and Dalton. Behind them, Justin Rod and Jeff Ryan trying to look a little bit more active. However, I think Jeff Ryan, at least here right now, looks relatively content just to stay back there and ride behind Justin Rod.
Yeah, Jeff seems to be settled in right now. I really like the pace of the race at the moment, and honestly, everybody seems to still be searching for their line around this track. James Krahula being one of them. Devin Cannon seems to be struggling now just a little bit. This could be opportunity for Krahula. Oh, and we John Rodden pulling off the track here early.
I have to see what is up that. Oh, it looks like his
he had
left
trouble.
front.
He had trouble coming out of turn 2. Slides off the top of the track, across the speedway, and down into the inside retaining wall. We're going to catch it here on the replay.
Yeah, and one thing you'll see here on the replay is that, go back just a little bit more, I think, is that the left front came below the yellow line just a little bit. And once that happened, well, the back end of his truck was just kind of a passenger at that point, and just kind of followed him all the way into that inside wall. So it does not look like that John Rodden is going to have the finish he was hoping here for tonight. Instead, he's got a beat-up green machine that's in need of repairs, and he is coming back out on track now, but he is several laps down.
All right, still a great battle. Krahula taking another look at Devin Cannon. Runs right up on him and then comes up to the top side, and then he has that before him. Off the exit, Tyler Dalton gets a little bit closer every lap. Dalton, actually the smart one here, really taking care of his truck back here. Krahula almost snaps loose on him there, coming out of 2.
You're seeing several trucks out there starting to get loose, but probably no more so right now than James Krahula. It's starting to hurt him to see Tyler Dalton getting right up under the quarter panel of that truck. Tyler Dalton dives to the inside. Krahula actually gets held up a little bit by Devin Cannon there. I think he had to lift a little bit more than what he was planning on, but Tyler Dalton not able to take advantage of that, and they go right back to being nose to tail. Now, while they're getting racy, that's letting Justin Rodden right behind them start to catch up. At the same time, they're all catching Jeff Gow. So it looks like we've got a five-truck battle for third trying to shape up here. So third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh could all be at play here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, all the while, though, Yazik and Ward allowed to...
James Krahula going the other way. He's going to go ahead and try going on the bottom this time. Not able to do anything with it, but he really dove it in there going into three.
He did. What I was going to say was, all the while with this battling going on back here, Jeff Ward and Brian Yazik have been able to get away from the field.
Yeah, right now that difference between Yazik and Jeff Gow up over 3 seconds, and can't dismiss the fact that Jeff Ward almost has a second now on Brian Yazik, so that separation definitely becoming noticeable out there. And meanwhile, these five guys, you fit them all in one frame on the camera, so battle tightening up. Here comes James Krahula. Figure, okay, inside didn't work last time. Let me go back to the outside, try it again.
Look at that.
And that time, it looks like he's going to be able to clear Devin Cannon.
Wow.
And now he's going to have his sights set on Jeff Gow.
I think he worked on that for the better part of about 10 laps. Finally gets it done. Now here comes Tyler Dalton. Cannon. Seems like Cannon is the one that maybe is struggling here just a little bit. He might have been fighting a little bit too hard to just hold position there.
Well, and now James Krahula is getting all over the rear deck lid here of Jeff Gow. Now, you can't dismiss Jeff Gow. We've talked about John Wilco's great run last time out at Chicagoland. You can't forget that Jeff Gow was able to come home second in that race. I believe that was his best finish of the season by far. And so he's trying to duplicate some of that effort here for tonight, but having a little bit of trouble out there with that with trying to maintain third position, is he's got the likes of James Krahula now starting to hunt him down. But James Krahula here, the last lap, since he started talking, kind of started to back off just a touch.
Okay, well, I think James a fan of the long game. Plenty of racing left here, so he pushed hard. He got his one position. Maybe time to kind of let things settle just a bit here.
And I got to correct myself. No, Jeff Gow did win a race earlier. I think he's done well on the dirt tracks here that they've run here in the middle part of the season. So my apologies there to Jeff Gow for not giving him the credit he deserved for that win. Oh, James Krahula in the wall.
Uh-oh, that truck just got a little more narrow. Okay, here we go on the replay. Let's see what happened here, James.
Judging by what he's saying on the radio, it might have been a lapse of concentration, having to deal with some hardware, and just drifted up into that wall.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
that's what he was on about. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so now he's got to try to get back those positions that he lost. He's back up to speed. The truck doesn't look too bad. And maybe, just maybe, narrowing it up made it slightly more aerodynamic. It seems he's going to go ahead and take a look at the high side of Justin Rod. But Justin Rod able to get a little bit better of a corner there and be able to maintain sixth position from James Krahula. But James Krahula coming right back on him here through 3 and 4. But a little bit slower for James on that one. Just doesn't seem to have the momentum. He's got to take a little bit, give himself calm back down, and get that momentum back.
All that work he put in, and now he's got to get back to it. Dalton, though, here making a move.
Ooh, Devin Cannon slowed up a little bit. Tyler Dalton's going to take a look. Ooh, and he gets loose.
Hang on, Devin.
Let's see if Tyler Dalton's able to complete anything here now. Devin Cannon just able to carry just enough speed. And spin on the front straightaway. There's a truck sitting on the inside there. That's John Rodden with another issue. Truck just broke loose on him coming out of 4. And that's going to add another lap down for John Rodden there. Look at the GSRC replay. Just see it take a trip off to the inside wall. I don't think that's a lawn care business on his pickup there. So Not getting any sponsorship mentions there for tonight. Meanwhile, back up there with that battle, James Kahula still trying to do something with Rodden. Dalton up here still trying to do something with Cannon, and everybody right now has their eyes set on that red truck of Jeff Gow.
Yeah, they do, and I think it's Dalton right now that's the most impatient one. Really putting in a lot of work here on Devin Cannon. And he's going to look to the inside, try and win this race down the backstretch. Maybe do this from the bottom. Gets a nose in there. Up side by side with Cannon.
That is something that you almost don't hear very often is Tyler Dalton being impatient. But right now, his aggressiveness is going to pay off. It looks like he's going to be able to clear Cannon here for 4th position, and he almost had a run on Jeff Gow there.
Yeah, he did. That run kind of slowed down just a bit, but here he goes, picking it back up again. Does seem to close in on him through the center of the turn.
And look at Justin Rod being able to follow Tyler Dalton through. He's going to get around Devin Cannon. It looks like James Kahula is. So we're just going to see Devin Cannon shuffled all the way back to 7th position here.
Yeah, and you know, Devin was trying to hold off James Kahula for a very long time there, and obviously, 32 laps on those tires now. He probably used them up just a bit.
Tyler Dalton, fantastic run down the front straightaway. No effort at all. He's going to get around Jeff Gow. Move Tyler Dalton into 3rd position, but here comes Jeff Gow right back through 3 and 4. Who's going to have the better corner? Jeff Gow gets the edge on him just a little bit, but here comes Tyler Dalton pulling away, and it looks like he's going to get him at the stripe. Move Tyler Dalton to 3rd position. And how about Justin Rod just taking advantage of the positions that Tyler's grabbing, just able to follow him through, see if he's going to be able to complete the pass here.
Yeah, Justin running it right up there, sending it down to the bottom. Right on the inside of Gow now, getting a run here off of turn 4. Still not quite able to get the position. They're going to get to Jeff Gow across the line. Rodden just got to be consistent here, keep it down there and keep digging. Kahula not a factor in this battle yet.
He will be the longer they run side by side, though, and don't think Kahula won't take this thing 3 wide if he needs to, if he sees the advantage. Tyler Dalton just pulling away from those two now. Meanwhile, at the back of that group, Devin Cannon's almost starting to lose touch with them. So the middle part of this battle that we've been watching for 4th, 5th, and 6th positions, that's the hotter part of that 5-truck battle now, is Justin Rod just cannot complete the pass. Just that outside momentum there, even though I think he got him at the line. No, they run nearly identical times. You couldn't fit a sheet of paper between them, but Jeff Gow gets a little tight on the high line. That's going to allow Justin Rodden to get him clear. He's not going to be able to come back in 3 and 4, slot Justin Rodden into 4th position, and James Kahula not able to take advantage of that on Jeff Gow here just yet.
You know, as we approach lap 40, I begin to get into that mode of thinking, all right, well, when are we thinking about a pit stop here? Got to be honest with you, on this short track this evening, they can get this race done with 1 pit stop if that's the strategy they want to roll with. Adam, I just don't know if, how bad are the tires falling off for you at this point? Honestly, I look at the times. They've really only lost maybe a second to a second and a half for some drivers since we started this race. So, almost 40 laps. I think we're in pretty good shape with the tires.
I would agree with you too. And just from my own experience, these type of races. Mark Norbert in the wall right in front of Brian Yazik. Comes down in front of Yazik. Able to miss him. Norbert's going to be heading down to pit road, I think, here.
Boy,
that almost got really interesting for Brian Yazik, and not in the way he was going.
Did. Yeah, Nobert's got some right front damage on his truck. Let's look at the replay here.
Oh, and he's back in the wall again here live outside of the replay.
Yeah, okay, now Nobert heading for the pit live, and he's finishing up the replay there.
So anyway, what we were getting ready to say, if it was me, I would be thinking about just trying to make this, a halvesies kind of thing. Come down around lap 75, right around halfway, get past the halfway part, get your American Pool Supply halfway award, hit pit road after that. At least that's what I would do. Right now, that's not going to be too difficult of a proposition. You're probably going to get that award here for tonight. Goes to the top 10 in points. There's 9 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I like the way that sounds. Drivers putting some work out here, seeing, some pretty good runs. But, boy, up front, Ward and Yazik have just really started to put on a clinic of what it means to drive Iowa Speedway.
I got to say, while we were discussing Mark Nobert there just a few minutes ago, Jeff Gow found himself falling all the way back to 7th position. So that battle we've been watching now is Dalton, Rodden, Krahula, Cannon, and now Gow back there. As Gow seems to be the one that's really fallen off here.
Well, remember for a while there, Gow was another one of those trucks that was really fighting to hold on to his position, and he might have used up a little bit of his equipment in the effort to do that. I can't imagine there isn't a driver on this track that doesn't want a caution flag, though, right now to slow things down and maybe bring the leaders back in just a bit.
Yeah, one guy that definitely does not want to be the caution trying to get around lap traffic right now is Jeff Ward, as he clears Jeff Ryan, and he's got Derek Paulson up in front of him. So already seen a little bit of an adventure when it comes to lap traffic, and that's definitely something our leaders want to try to avoid, as that gap continues to widen between Ward and Yazik, but even more so between those two and Tyler Dalton going back to 3rd.
Well, I know Tyler Dalton wouldn't mind getting himself a win. That's a driver who's been itching for a win for a while. In any one of the 3 series, I'm sure he'd be happy to get one here as the season winds down. That's one of the hardest working drivers in the business. Hasn't had all the luck in the world this season. But tell you what, that Chevrolet Silverado looking pretty good here early.
We'll say this, though, if we continue to go a while without a caution, we're going to have to let Joe Peak take a break from the director's chair, and he's going to have to go check on Brutus in his kennel, because Brutus might be getting a little bored in there, man, for that Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog, and just nothing yet here for him tonight.
Boy, well, as it stands, I guess it would be Mark Nobert would be the first driver, and no, I take that back. Jeff Ryan would actually be the first driver in line for that if we were to get a caution flag right now. But yeah, I am getting a little worried about
here
this.
By the end of this next 10 seconds, you can move Derek Paulson into that category, as now Jeff Ward gets around Derek Paulson. So we are now down to 7 trucks on the lead lap, with Gow now the last truck on the lead lap, which he's got quite a ways, about almost a half track. Well, okay, got quite a ways, maybe not half track, but quite a ways going back to Jeff Ward before he has to worry about getting lapped here.
Well, and here's what Gal's got working on his side. His laps are still really good. He's in the low 24s. You've got Ward up there running the high 23s, so he's not losing seconds a lap. He's only losing like maybe about 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So it'll take a little while. You just got to be patient. Maybe something good will happen here in these next several rounds.
Well, at that rate, he definitely won't get to him by the time we have pit stops, which we figure might happen maybe around halfway if they're listening to me. But we'll see what happens here. They might try to push it as far as they can possibly go, as we are now making our way around Jeff Ward, just taking lap 53 here, and we're getting close to halfway, and it's coming in a hurry. We've only been running this race now for about 25 minutes, and already just burning down the house as far as lap times. No complaints there, I think, from a few guys, though.
Yeah, I love the burning down the house references there. Images of David Byrne and Talking Heads there for a moment.
Well, we did have the Des Moines Fire Department for the color guard.
That's true. That's true. So we're ready. We're ready to handle that condition, aren't we?
I think so, and I think Newton, Iowa has their own volunteer fire department. I could be wrong there, but I think they do. So we're probably well staffed to make burning down the house references here tonight.
You know what? And I just thought about something that might open us up to some roasted corn, as we're right near the cornfields here. So that, boy, that would be exciting.
Going back to 8th position here, battle between Paulson and Herring. Paulson's been kind of falling back into the clutches of Stephen Herring here the last few laps. I expect Stephen Herring to be able to make this pass. These guys are running one lap down. That yellow fin that you just saw pass a minute ago, that was Yazik right now running in second. But nonetheless, good battle between the two. They're making their way now. I was able to go at least outside of Iowa last summer, Iowa Speedway, and it's amazing looking at this place because it almost seems like it's dug into the ground, going all the way around, and it's really kind of tough to see from the road there going around it. But it's a little bit bigger, at least you think it is, than a 3/4 mile track.
Okay, so Stephen Herring finally pulled off that move there on Derek Paulson. In the meantime, Jeff Ryan decided to go ahead and come in the pit. I guess Ryan saw that he wasn't getting any faster and he decided to bring her in.
Oh, might as well. Yeah, at this point of the race, might as well take a chance. That Venom Energy Silverado, and looks like he'll go down, of course, probably a lap and a half, if not another 2 laps, with the trip down pit road. I think pit road speed limit here tonight, I want to say, is 35 miles. No, it's 40 miles an hour.
Yes, 40.
So 40 miles an hour here tonight, and that pit road definitely feels like it takes a while going down it at 40 miles an hour. Which we need to talk to NASCAR, because Dover's pit road speed limit's 35 and here it's 40. I don't know where that makes sense, but we'll throw that out there as maybe it's something to talk about later on. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward continuing to make waves. He is up in front by a good distance now over Yazik. He's opened that up to almost 5 seconds over Brian Yazik. Right now running lap times almost 0.4 of a second faster than him, but right behind him he has Jeff Ryan on those fresher tires. Well, there goes Jeff Ryan, and Jeff Ward, because does the smart thing, doesn't try to hold him up at all. Those fresh tires will make all the difference. He'll probably get up to him here in a little bit. But one thing we said might take a while with the fall off that's happened to him here in just the last little bit. Jeff Gow should now be able to see your leader Jeff Ward in his rear view mirror. So Jeff Gow's really wanting caution here at this point.
Oh, he sees him. He definitely sees him. If he doesn't, I don't think he's using a mirror. But no, Ward's been very patient with everybody he's passed, not been aggressive at all, and still manages to keep a stranglehold on the field. Yazik now a little over 5 seconds behind him. Then you go all the way back to Tyler Dalton in third. It's a full 12 seconds back.
So we'll see Gal starting to come back on Canada here just a little bit at a time. Not making huge waves, but enough that he could make a difference where these guys start thinking about pit road. And once we hit halfway here, coming up in about 11 laps, we'll go ahead and work our way through the field, make sure that everybody gets a little bit of airtime here tonight. Even though it hasn't been too much of a problem here so far, but we'll make sure everybody gets at least a little bit of a mention here. But so far here for tonight, we have run caution-free at Iowa. We are now getting ready to start working lap 65 here for these guys, is the laps are just clicking off. And you know what? I just noticed as soon as we talked about Jeff Gow starting to gain a little bit on Devin Cannon, it seems like he starts to lose that grip just a little bit.
Yeah, now he's having to deal with Jeff Ryan, who is off a pit stop just 7 laps ago. Better tires, obviously. He clears them finally.
You know, if I'm Jeff Gow here, And I know we're coming up on halfway. I know I'm probably not going to lose too many spots if I do it. If Jeff Ward gets around me before a caution comes out, I come down pit road. That's just me, though. Take advantage of something if something does happen to those guys on their pit cycle, and make it a strategy play. But we'll see. Once again, I'm not driving the truck, so...
Yeah, well, Gow struggled there coming out of turn 2. It really opened things up for Ward. Here he comes. Ward looking at the bottom of the track. Gow all the way up top across the start-finish line. He's going to hang on to position there for this lap. But now Ward going to go ahead and probably move on here off the exit. He does. Ward handling the long run in this truck very, very well. He still seems to be really hooked up, man.
And he's starting to gain once again back on Devin Cannon. Devin Cannon's starting to lose a lot of time here as Jeff Ward's already on his rear lid.
Ward really, really impressive again. New week, new track. Same Jeff Ward.
Well, whatever he is putting in his Wheaties in the morning, I wish he'd share just a little bit. With me. None of you guys. Just with me. So we'll now...
Mark Norbert
around on the back straightaway. Once again, another truck just gets loose off too and just goes down and just kisses the inside wall just hard enough to mess up the grill on that Toyota Tundra. You see it live here on the GSRC replay. Back in, brakes loose just a little bit. Boop. Once again,
that's
just enough to bend up that grill.
Yeah, I think that damage is probably going to be a little heavier than we initially thought. As it comes down the pit lane, certainly there's going to be some required repair on that truck.
It's Justin Rod's the first-year leaders to come down pit road right behind him. See how well this works out for Justin Rod as we are approaching the halfway mark here very quickly as have run caution-free here so far. Wheels are up. Look for those left sides to go up. And this should start a wave of these guys coming down pit road. I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what we talked about a little while ago about them waiting till halfway to come down. I wouldn't be surprised now if that's a strategy indeed. Here comes Jeff Ward. He's going to start lap 74.
2 more circuits to go, and he owns another American Pool Supply Halfway Award. He's going to have to get a whole new wing on his home for all this hardware he's picked up this season.
That's for sure. And if things keep on going the way they're going here tonight for him, he might very well have another winner's trophy to go along with that. I think Jeff Gow behind him. Yeah, Jeff Gow just slid up in the wall and kissed it. So his right front fender is a little bit beat up. It's not significant. Not significant enough to divert our attention away from Jeff Ward as he's going to try to put a lap on James Krahula while at the same time taking your American Pool Supply Halfway Award goes to Jeff Ward. And don't forget, the top 10 get bonus points here too. So big bonus points for Ward, for Yazik, for Dalton, who all are able to at least Yazik able to pull a little bit more away from Krahula, and Dalton able to get some ground.
Ward not wasting any time. Remember, American Pool Supply, hashtag the pool is clean. And here he comes, the halfway leader down pit lane. I expect a full tank of fuel and 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles on that truck.
Tyler Dalton following him down. You can see him coming down back there. What that's going to do is that's going to move Yazik up into the lead. And I do believe that they do get bonus points for leading a lap. So that's going to be key bonus points for Yazik here for tonight. Is Jeff Ward is about halfway through his stop. Tyler Dalton finding his box now. It's just a long way around here at 40 miles an hour.
It really is. It seems like it's the never-ending pit road. Finally, down off the jacks. There goes Jeff Ward. Back to it.
Krahula in. I think that's Jeff Gow back there coming in as well. But it's like Jeff Gow had lost that much time that Tyler Dalton was able to come in, completely complete his pit stop before Gow was able to find his box.
Do you know Ward got away just squeaky clean? No one in front of him, no one behind him, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he's coming up here on Krahula, so chalk Krahula down a lap.
Yeah, I was just about to say that puts Krahula back down a lap.
Yazik's going to find his way down, as those guys just go speeding right past. Now, keep in mind, he did lose a lap on that, so that's him getting his lap back, for Jeff Ward, rather, getting his lap back. And he's already going through 3 and 4, as Yazik is still trying to find his pit stall.
Yeah, pay attention. Make sure you know where your pit stall's at. You don't want to miss it. Especially since we haven't seen any laundry this evening. You really don't know if you're going to get one at all.
Well, at this point, we've got 6 cars on the lead lap. And that's about it. So I think everybody now is, as Krahula's, as Devin Cannon is starting to pull away. I think that's just about everybody for their pit stops. So we'll go ahead and we'll work our way through the field here real quick. Stephen Herring. Okay, so Stephen Herring has to be the guy that wants to throw us for a curveball here. He is just hoping that he's able to get some sort of yellow flag while he's back on the lead lap. He was able to get his lap back and able to take the lead.
Yeah,
Jeff Ward's hunting him down, and there he comes down pit road.
And
so
there he
give
goes.
up the ghost there. All right, so that'll bring us to 5. Eventually 4 trucks back on the lead lap here once Stephen Herring goes a lap down, which shouldn't happen for too long. So let's talk about everybody out there here real quick. We'll start with Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward started on the pole here tonight, and, well, not much has changed. He's been just kind of running away, dominating performance once again out of Jeff Ward, that Loud Pedal Motorsports machine. Going back to Brian Yazik, who Yazik started second, running second. So, once again, not much has changed there for Brian Yazik. We'll go to Tyler Dalton. Tyler Dalton will be running third here. Tyler Dalton, he started today in 6th position. He was able to get a couple of spots out of the big battle that they had there, the 5-truck battle. So he's going to be running 6th. And now Justin Rodden out there. Justin Rodden was one of the first ones to come down pit road, and in fact, he's going to run in 4th. Why don't you go ahead and take a few more trucks here, Sean?
Okay, and so we're going to go to 5th, and that'd be James Krahula. Now, right now, he would be our wave around. Should there be a caution flag, I'd say pretty good luck. We'll see. 5th, going to go to Jeff Gow. Right now, the Canadian riding around. I'm sorry, I said 5th. 6th for Jeff Gow. I'm all right. Devin Cannon riding around in 7th currently. Jeff Ryan up a spot from where he started in 8th. And 9th, you've got Stephen Herring, who's, let's face it, having a pretty good showing this evening. He did get to lead some laps there. He's +4 in 9th. And your top 10 rounded out by Derek Paulson, John Rodden riding around in 11th. And our trucks behind the wall currently, that's going to be Mark Norbert, John Wilco, and Don Runkle Jr., who didn't get started, unfortunately.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Sean, no Snoop Doggy Dong Dong Runkle jokes here tonight, and I'm pretty sure I just butchered the heck out of that. So, just the way that goes. Okay, so we'll say that pit cycle, Yazik was able to gain back about a second on Jeff Ward, and last lap was just a touch faster. For some reason, I don't think that's going to last too long for him here. Is Jeff Ward is he's just found the hookup here for tonight and just absolutely dominated this race.
Yeah, he really has. And Yazik kept it close for a while, but it seemed like Ward got faster. The deeper we got into the run, he got better, and everybody else got just a little bit slower. I know it's kind of cliche and maybe master of the obvious there, but it's the truth. It's exactly what happened, and boy, it seems to be what happens in most of these races where Jeff's allowed to get a long run. He knows how to take care of his equipment.
And you can see the difference in lines right at the start of the race earlier on. If you'd missed it, go back to it. And I think that might be a large part in his success here for tonight. So, and not only that, too, you mentioned taking care of equipment. A lot of the guys have either brushed the wall at least at some point or done something. But really, the three cleanest trucks that I see on this racetrack right now are Ward, Tyler Dalton, and Justin Rodden here tonight. Those are the three trucks that I just don't see any damage at all on them from any kind of contact whatsoever, whether it be a brush against the outside wall or otherwise.
Well, listen, the fastest way around is the way with the least amount of friction. You're spending time up in that wall, what do you have? Friction. So, good to stay off of it. Jeff Ward obviously has not had any problem with that. You know what? James Grahula has been working with a little bit of damage since the early part of this race, and where he was up there fighting for position. All I got to be honest with you right now, he's going to do pretty good to salvage a top 5. Now, Justin Rodden's only 5 seconds ahead of him. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch him, but again, for what some would consider maybe an off night for Grahula, he's going to do really good to hang on to 5th if he can hang on to it. Again, 5 seconds behind Justin Rodden, 7 seconds in front of Jeff Gow.
Well, it's been the Jeff Ward show here for tonight. Brian Yazik's show is kind of taking up the opening act because he's pretty much had a lock solid tight lid on second place. But I will say this: it does seem like even though the last lap times you can see there on the screen that Tyler Dalton was a little bit slower, it does seem like in the entire cycle that Tyler Dalton was able to gain just a little bit back on Brian Yazik. But I think you're going to run into a part that even though we're 50 laps away without a yellow, even if Tyler Dalton's able to start getting runs on him, he's just going to simply run out of time.
Yeah, well, and speaking of running out of time, we're going to be approaching lap 100 here momentarily. And, with that 50 to go mark coming up, I'd say things are going to start to heat up just a little bit. I mean, now let's face it, there's still a couple of positions here that are pretty, I wouldn't say they're decided. I think Tyler Dalton has an outside chance to catch Brian Yazik. He's going to have to pick things up just a bit. Maybe need even a little bit of help with some of the lap traffic, but don't count out a battle between Devin Cannon and Jeff Gow quite yet. Those two still fairly close to each other, maybe close enough to find themselves in a battle. Grahula has the perfect pace right now, I think, to stay where he's at. I don't know if he can catch Rodden, but we'll see. He's made small gains here in just the past couple laps.
Well, overall, quiet night out there, and you're right, though we might still see just a few more battles try to shape up. And that Devin Cannon and Jeff Gow battle is one that has heated up a few times over the course of this race. So it's entirely possible that those two can just be like magnets and end up becoming attracted to each other here once again. And I'm pretty sure that they'll get my attracted to comment later and have a good chuckle at that, hopefully. So anyway, yeah, I know it was corny. I know it was. It's okay. See, even our director, Joe Peak, you can't hear him. Even he's giving me a hard time. They may be 2 laps down, but the battle between Paulson and Herring seems to be heating back up once again. These are another 2 guys who just can't seem to get away from each other.
Yeah, remember the significance of Herring. I mean, he was the last truck to come in for a pit stop. I was able to actually lead some laps here on the speedway this evening. So Herring having a good run, but looking over his shoulder now, Derek Paulson is there. The lap time's pretty close. I think we got about a 1/10 of a second separating the two. Maybe, maybe about that. But yeah, it's possible. We've now passed 100 laps, and I would think everybody's thinking about their end game right now.
Yeah, don't forget Stephen Herring, of course. He's 10th in the PRL Grand National Series standings right now. I mean, he's come home with 12 top 10s out of 24 starts in that season here so far. So he knows how to wheel one of these things, but getting the job done here tonight, even though he's 2 laps down in that Dairy Queen Blizzard vehicle. And Dairy Queen sounds really good right now.
It really
Not
does.
even gonna lie to you. I like getting a Blizzard, and I like their chili fries. Yes, don't judge me. I get chili fries at DQ, okay?
I hear you, man. I'm watching. I'm sorry. I'm tied up watching Justin Rodden and Jeff Ward. I don't know if they're working together or Rodden's trying to salvage that position, but nah, it's gone now. Ward finally gets around. It took about 3 laps for Ward to be able to complete that pass. Rodden just did not want to give it up. So that's 3 trucks left on the lead lap.
Well, even we need a break, and I don't think we're going to be able to go caution-free. I think Sean needs to rest his voice or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a quick break and go the little side-by-side action here, and if something happens, we'll come back and let you know about it. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. And we're back here to go ahead and take you the rest of the distance here on GSRC. Just to recap here, just a minute ago, just saw Jeff Ryan slide into that pit road attenuator just a moment ago, and pretty much damaged his truck. He got stuck there, and he's going to call it a night after that. Is watch him just break loose in turn 4, between 3 and 4, and just go for a ride. And he was having
Oh,
Either be that or he's trying to pit or something. Either way, he ended up stuck in the pit road attenuator there in those sand barrels there right there at the end of pit road. So his night is going to be done. Also, during that, Justin Rodden, it looks like he might have got himself into a little bit of trouble as now he's got some damage on the right front of his truck, and it looks like he might lose this position to James Krahula. James Krahula fighting on the inside.
yeah, James trying to take advantage of it, but man, he doesn't carry the momentum down the straight and loses that advantage. Now looking back to the inside, Krahula down on the bottom. Nothing doing. It's going to be Rodden hanging on to that position one more time around here. Krahula still fighting now in the center of the track. Coming down a little bit closer to the apron. He'll glide back up. And again, it's this drag race down the backstretch that Krahula can't seem to win. But there he goes. Gets the momentum that time. Going to be able to slide up in front of Justin Rodden and finally complete that pass to get himself up in fourth.
And I went back to see when the damage to Justin Rodden's vehicle happened. It happened about lap 103, and if you figure that was about the same time that I said he had a really clean race truck. So a little bit of a commentator's curse there. My apologies to Justin Rodden for that. But James Krahula pretty much tracked him down as a lot of that contact, I think it was just enough to bend up the fender on Justin Rodden. I don't think he has any suspension damage or anything like that.
Well, we still got 11 out here running, buddy. I was looking to see if maybe anybody had jumped back in. It's still the same three behind the wall: Nobert, Wilco, and Runkle. John Rodden still in this race, hanging on. He's about 12 laps down there.
Yeah, and Jeff Ryan is out now. Of course, he just hasn't fallen all the way back down to the bottom of the order. So, so yeah, that does put us at puts us at 10 left in the field. So. Everybody gets a top 10 tonight.
I guess so, yeah. Boy, and you know, it hasn't been much since we hit the halfway point of the race, but Ward continues to just extend his lead a little bit at a time on Yazik. Yazik, again, you know, turning some great laps. In fact, the last time around, he was faster by 3 1/1000ths of a second, but when you're only 3 1/1000ths of a second faster, obviously catching that guy in front of you is it's a pretty darn tall task.
So I just did some counting. After the last 13 races this season, how many do you...
Was that right?
Yeah.
It was, okay.
Just absolutely dominant. If it had been the fact that he missed some races at the beginning of the season, that he'd be right up there in the points battle, and even with winning so much, I mean, he's kind of started to find his way up there just a little bit. I mean, not in championship contention sort of form, but he's digging for a top 5 in the point standings. We can't forget that out of him. Is going into this race, he was only 6 back from Jeff Gow, and he should overtake him for that 5th place in points here tonight.
How about dropping that answer like Rain Man, baby?
You know, you're not Tom Cruise, neither am I. And God, who was the guy that played Rain Man in that?
It was Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. So neither of us are Dustin Hoffman or Tom Cruise. Just throwing it out there.
All right, well, I'll throw this out there. Brian Yazik just cleared another truck. Got by the 23 of Justin Rodden. Yazik continuing to try and maybe catch Jeff Ward here. Jeff had to make a pretty major mistake at this point, but
who was that in the wall? Devin Cannon in the wall hard, and John Rodden's going to glance him as well.
Oh, wow.
Just to make sure that Devin Cannon got all 4 corners of that pickup dinged up.
Yeah, watch this on the replay. Cannon obviously going to run up, get sucked up into that wall, and Rodden coming by. Cannon keeps coming down the track, and Rodden's going to get him there. And like you said, I don't think there's a straight corner on that truck, but you know what? On screen, when we go back live here, you'll see that Cannon actually lives to fight another day. This is on board with John Rodden, and you see that contact. If we go back live, you'll see that Cannon has taken the spot back from John. Okay, so John is laps down, but Cannon, despite the damage, able to continue on, get back up to speed, and finally get out of John's sight there.
That definitely does take out any chance that he had of catching Jeff Gow on this one, as Jeff Gow has just started to run away, and the damage on Cannon's truck making it worse. And that is one thing I'll say, Sean. I think with some of the wall contacts that we've seen here tonight is, I think Jeff Ward gets a little too close for comfort to Devin Cannon there coming out of 4. Is that the hits on the wall have been kind of flush, so you haven't seen them hit the wall and then bounce back out in the track or anything like that. They've been hitting the wall flush and only body damage on the pickups at that.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Ward going to bring it around here, and 20 to go. I think it's time to drop that disco ball, baby. Let's get that party started right here, right now. It's time to go. Let's boogie.
It's Yazek right now is channeling his inner, was it Kevin Harvick or Tony Stewart at the Brickyard one year, going, "He kitty kitty kitty."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to have the same effect for you here tonight, Brian.
You know what though? I mean, listen, it's still just over 7 seconds. He's not let it get much bigger than that. Our director's just full of them tonight.
Yeah,
he is on point.
He's on a roll. And
Joe at his peak this evening. Oh.
We gotta wonder how James Kahula feels about getting lapped.
Yeah, not really used to seeing Kahula get lapped. Just don't be the caution here, guys. Don't be that guy with 16 laps to left.
As Yazek is doing his best John Williams impersonation with the theme for Jaws as he goes around James Kahula here tonight.
Oh, and James Kahula discussing his admiration for Matt Kenseth right now.
Let's not forget that these guys are good friends off the racetrack, even though they're in a very tight points battle. And if only I could repeat some of the things that are being said, but I can't. So you'll just hear me laugh about it, and you'll just have to maybe join the Premier Racing League or something like that to find out for yourself.
Yeah, you're just going to have to join the PRL to get in on the real fun. PRL After Dark is a good show if you're down for that.
I think Don Runkle Jr. already checked out for the After Dark show. So
yeah. He does overnights around here.
Yeah, he does. You know that weird overnight guy that always works with the lights off and everything else, just kind of there. It's kind of more like a guy in the corner that you just don't mess with. But if you ever do, it's probably going to be a fun time. So,
you know who we haven't talked about in a while and is still in third place? That's Tyler Dalton. Really in a safe spot, if you ask me. He's got no trouble behind him. He's got no trouble in front of him right now.
About a straightaway ahead of Jeff Ward.
Yeah, he's not going to get lapped. Yeah, I don't. That is the safest truck on the track right now. That Haviland Chevrolet Silverado just been really, really hooked up tonight. Shame it wasn't enough for a win. I'm not going to call it yet. Then we still have 12 laps to go here across the line. But again, just a solid night for Tyler Dalton. He started 5th. I'm sorry, he started 6th.
Well, Tyler Dalton, and don't forget that he could be a lot closer to that top group, but he got involved in that big 5-truck battle with Dalton, Rod and Gow, Cannon, and Kahula earlier on, and he eventually was the cream that rose to the top, but it took a while to do and a lot of time to do it as well. So obviously still feeling the effects of that now, down to about 18 seconds from your leader, Jeff Ward. But very clean race truck still. Cross your fingers. Hopefully I didn't put the commentator's curse on you there, Tyler. But a very, very good performance tonight for Tyler Dalton. That's just kind of he's just kind of out there, but he is coming up on some lap trucks, including one of Jeff Gow. So he'll have to get around him before everything, I think, is said and done here for tonight.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to jinx anything, but what we're doing here tonight is let's face it, these green to checker flags don't happen much. About as rare as the legendary Chupacabra and its continued search for that. These are awful fun, but man, I know there's a couple of drivers here that probably would have benefited from a caution or two. I just keep thinking about James Krahula. Well, I just keep thinking about James Krahula, who, I said we're not used to seeing him get past.
I was going to say, I can think about 9 guys right now that could have benefited from a caution. But one guy that is definitely glad it is gone caution free. That's Jeff Ward. Just we keep saying it, but that Loud Pedal Motorsports machine has just been hooked up here for tonight. He's been able to run any lane he wants at any time he desires, and continues to just put this thing away. And here we are. We got 6 laps to go, and I think we're really going to go ahead, and we're going to be really close to finishing 150 laps in Iowa at right about an hour's time. So just an absolute flying pace here tonight.
They're giving me a hard time in the race chat. I don't know if you could hear that in the background. Apparently, they are doing the big no-no and watching the broadcast while they're driving, guys.
So this is why Jeff Ward's out by 9 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. No wonder why Krahula got lapped. He's sitting here listening to the broadcast. Man. Well, not much longer to go here. 5 laps to go in the American Pool Supply Truck Series. Yeah, there we go. 4 to go.
As that gap continues to widen, if this was an election, I would say that I would declare the victory to Jeff Ward, but I know better here. I know he still has 3 laps to try to get around Iowa, and here he goes. Just absolutely marvelous race ran by Jeff Ward here for tonight, and he's doing his best right now to try to beat me in at what I said about an hour. So we'll see how close I am to that hour prediction here in just a moment, as we've run caution free here for tonight. We just took 2 laps to go. Jeff Ward on his final 2 trips around Iowa Speedway under the lights here in the American Pool Supply Series Truck Series for the Premier Racing League. There's the John Roddens pickup right in front of him. John Roddens had himself a little bit of trouble, but he was able to tough it out here tonight, and he's going to finish this thing. Jeff Ward's coming to take the white flag.
Man, I think we're going to get this right in at 1 hour, straight up.
I'm thinking so.
It's going to be really, really close.
Here comes the back straightaway, completing a caution-free performance here for tonight for the American Pool Supply Truck Series. Jeff Ward dominating with an almost 10-second win at under an hour for 150 laps as the fireworks go off in the background. Brian Yazik's going to come across the line with about on the lead lap, 9.4 seconds behind him, and we'll follow Tyler Dalton here real quick as he comes across the line to round out all the cars on the lead lap. Tyler Dalton, fantastic run for him here for tonight. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back to run down your finishing order and see what kind of jokes we can tell about Sean when we come back. Well, a dominating performance by that 89 Loud Pedal Motorsports truck tonight. Jeff Ward runs away from it, much to the chagrin of just about everybody in this field. We'll talk to him here in just a moment. Here's your final rundown. Jeff Ward sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Brian Yazik, I would say close, but not exactly. 9.5 seconds back there behind him. And Tyler Dalton coming in as the last car on the lead lap in third position with 20 seconds back behind Jeff Ward. But Tyler Dalton ran himself a pretty nice and quiet race out there. James Kahula, first car a lap down, followed by Justin Rodden, Jeff Gow, Stephen Herring, who ran himself a pretty good, consistent race, also got himself a few laps led here tonight. Devin Cannon, Derek Paulson, and John Rodden round out your top 10.
All right, then we will drop down to 11th. It's going to be Jeff Ryan, Mark Nobert in 12th. John Wilco only got 2 laps in tonight, 13th, and Don Roca was not able to get her off the line. Adam, let's head to victory lane, and you have caught up with a very victorious Jeff Ward.
Yeah, Jeff Ward with just a dominating performance here for tonight. Jeff, are you going to tell everybody your secret to figuring out how to get around this place? Because you certainly put on a show tonight, sir.
It's really no secret, man. We just, I think, may have been one of the only ones running the bottom there. The thing feels good for me down there. Other guys like it in the middle or up high, but for some reason I've always ran the bottom here, and it seems to take care of my right front pretty good. So I was glad to see the thing go, pretty much, I guess it was green the whole race, no cautions. So that really kind of played into our favor with the line we was running, trying to save down there on the bottom, and just happy with that, man. That was a heck of a run there.
But we noticed that you were able to keep it on the bottom pretty much all evening long. Do you ever feel any problems at all with the truck breaking loose or anything like that on you?
No, if anything, I was getting a little tight on exit at certain times of the race there, and I was playing with the brake bias a little bit on entry. It would try to snap loose, getting into the corners. But from center off, it was pretty good. Like I said, there in 3 and 4 down on the bottom, if you can just kind of roll the throttle, to me, I think it helps save tires down there. So that was kind of the game plan.
Well, it certainly worked out for you tonight as you have now moved. We were talking in about midway through the race about you being just outside the top 5 in points. Well, you have now worked your way up to 4th in points after missing the first part of the year. And you're only now 175 out of the points lead. And I'm going to do my best Jim Carrey impersonation, say, so you're saying there's a chance. So how do you feel about that right now?
I don't think we're going to catch Brian. He's too consistent. We might be able to get up to 3rd or something, but I'm just racing trying to get I think we're leading points for the segment, the fall segment there. So I'd like to try to get that, and I'd be pretty happy. That'd feel like a win for me just because we started so late in the season. So hopefully we can close the deal, with a couple more wins and go out with some momentum.
All right. Well, hey, good talking to you here tonight. And let's see, got Charlotte up next, and I think the next time we'll see you will be at Talladega here, Jeff.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
And that was your winner here tonight, Jeff Ward. Now, we're going to bring Brian Yazik in the booth here. And before I let Sean talk to him, Brian, you've been doing your best John Williams impersonation with the Jaws theme here all night. So go ahead and do that here for me real quick. You know you want to. Okay. So Brian Yazik continues to pull away in the points over James Kahula. I just wanted to make that announcement while the Jaws theme was going on.
Would that be a copyright strike?
I said your best impersonation. I didn't say it was very good.
Joe in the booth is slamming his head against the board.
Well, I'll go ahead and let Sean talk to you here.
All right.
I'm here, and Brian Yazik, so are you, man.
Yeah.
You just weren't quick enough, were you?
No, and that's the thing that sometimes I can't figure out is I really love Iowa. It's one of the first tracks I got really good at here on iRacing, but I don't know. I kept making mistakes, and Jeff doesn't make mistakes, so that's really what it boils down to.
Is it really? Is that what it came down for tonight? You really just think it was a couple of key mistakes for yourself?
Well, really what happened is I was experimenting in the first half of the race, and if you noticed, I was with him I was within a second probably for the first 40 laps. And then I started making mistakes, and that gap went from 2 seconds to 3 seconds to 4 seconds to 5 seconds. And then, he pitted about 4 laps before we did, and he was running about a second quicker per lap. So you take that 4 laps and the 5 seconds, and he finished 9 seconds ahead of us, where if we were on even keel, because of the second half of the race, I would have been right there on his back bumper. So.
Yeah, and I actually talked about that in the second half of the race. You really were hanging with him there. Really, the last third of the race, your times were practically identical. And boy, just if he'd have just had one little piece of bad luck, you might have had an opportunity there. It's still a great run this evening. You still hold on to the season championship right now. You're 8 points to the good on Crahula. So. Coming down the stretch here, what have you got to do to secure and hang on to that championship?
I just have to keep doing, what we've been doing all year long. With these lighter fields, it's kind of making things a little trickier for him, and it's kind of playing more so into our strength, but we'll see here as the season winds down, but I just know it's real simple. We just have to keep finishing ahead of them, whether it's by 1 spot or whether it's by 2 spots or 3 or 4. It's pretty basic. He can't gain any points on us if we're ahead of him, and that's really kind of how we have to finish out these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races. 5 races left on the
5.
Holy crap!
Well,
but yeah, that's just what we got to keep doing. Maybe we can notch a win. We got Talladega in there, and that's kind of the big wild card. But everything else, I feel really solid at for the rest of the season. So we just kind of have to keep doing what we do, and we'll keep this HPP simulation, Loud Pedal Motorsports machine up at the front, and try to bring home another championship.
Brian, I'm going to do something for you and the rest of the league right now. I'm going to challenge every member of the Premier Racing League to get your butt out here on Saturday night and be part of one of these last 5 races this season. Man, you're missing out. Some of the best racing of the year is happening now down the stretch.
Absolutely. We've got, I know the website, we closed off registration, but I don't know if someone is nice to me or they come in with a nice recommendation.
Buy you a beer?
Maybe a cookie. That sort of. Oh, there's a cookie right here. My fiance dropped a cookie off in the middle of the race, and that could have been where we were making mistakes.
Hang on, did she bring cookies for all of us?
Unless you are located in Petoskey, Michigan right now, no. If you were in Petoskey, Michigan, yes.
Man. All right. Well, listen. Hey, another great run for you. Oh wow! I did say Saturday. I wasn't gonna say anything. They were just gonna handle it behind the scenes, and I was gonna let it roll. But but hey, whatever. But
it's not the first time he's done that tonight, so I was just gonna let him go.
Wow! I didn't.
It's not like we didn't really give you a whole lot to talk about tonight. So, and I know
my world feels upside down right now, and I just don't know why.
Well, being in the booth last year, I know these longer races, when things don't happen, you get bored and you try to figure out something, and then your brain wanders, and next thing you know, you're thinking about stuff that I can't say on the air.
Yeah, and hitting up Don Runkle Jr. for stuff.
Or something like that, or maybe you're picturing a plunger on somebody's head, and you're like, that's a redneck unicorn.
Oh, geez. All right. Let's move on. Hey, no, really, again, Brian, great run tonight. Congratulations on another consistent run that leaves you in this championship lead. We will see you this week in the Cup Cars Thursday night, buddy.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to that. Bringing that HPP simulation Ford Fusion up to the front.
All right, and we thank Brian Yazik. And now, Adam, you're going to take a quick chance here to talk to our third place finisher, Tyler Dalton.
Yeah, and one of the cleanest trucks out there still remaining, and despite being in a pretty tough battle for about a good quarter of the race out there with 5 other trucks, cream rose to the top. Tyler Dalton was able to get away from those guys, and he ends up being the last car in the lead lap out of only 3 cars in the lead lap, so that's saying something here for tonight. Tyler, good job on third place, sir.
Thank you. Iowa is really not one of my better tracks. which is sort of ironic. I finished third at a track I'm not good at. Last week was one of my best tracks at Chicago, and I got wrecked out. But that's just the way it is sometimes. It was difficult getting by the guys in the beginning. It was really hard to pass. But once the tires sort of wore, I was able to make some passes. But at that point, I knew unless we had a caution, I was not going to catch the guys in front of me anyway. So I was just trying to take it easy for most of the rest of the race.
Well, it does look like that with the fact that you were able to bring it home in third, despite Yazik coming home in second, you actually were able to gain 5 points. You gained 5 points on second place, but you're still only a 60 points outside of the lead for the point standings. Are you still hoping to be able to get up there, maybe a challenge for the championship here in the American Pool Supply Truck Series?
Well, there's always a chance there. Like I said, last week really hurt, being one of my best tracks, getting taken out early. But if the way I look at it, if that can happen to me, that can happen to them too. So all it takes is 1 or 2 bad races by them, and I'm right back in it.
Well, coming up here is to round out the season. Of course, we got done with Iowa here for tonight. We got Charlotte, we got Talladega, Martinsville, Rockingham, and Atlanta here left. Out of those 5 tracks, what do you think is going to be your best track?
By far, I would say my best tracks of those are going to be Charlotte and Atlanta. But unfortunately, I don't always run the best at my best tracks, so we'll see how things go. The one track I'm not looking forward to is probably Martinsville, but I wasn't looking forward to Iowa either, and that turned out pretty well.
That's certainly the case. Hey, Tyler, once again, good job tonight coming home in third, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks at Talladega.
I'll see you then.
It's Tyler Dalton, your third place finisher, and those always like having the Premier Racing League guys come in here, chat us up and everything else, Sean, but it is about time we wrap it up. So what's your final thoughts here for tonight?
Final thoughts is, I probably wish we would have had a few more trucks. I'm still going to challenge everyone to show up on Sunday nights, not Saturday nights, because you show up on Saturday nights, you're running in the Bootleg Racing League and not the Premier Racing League. Guys, let's finish out this season strong. Get back in your truck. Get on track. We'd love to see you.
And I will definitely second those thoughts. Well, hey, we want to say a special thanks to Premier Racing League for putting on the American Pool Supply Truck Series. Also, thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast. You can see there listed on your screen.
Also, thanks to our musical contributors, the great Erica Colm and the magnificent Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find at their websites that we've got listed there on screen for you. For more information about future races, you can see the list on our screen, or you can go to our YouTube channel where you may be watching us now. We've got a list of races coming up there also. And you can also visit our website, globalsimracingchannel.com.
We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. Hey, these guys are going to be back racing next week, next Sunday night at Charlotte. But GSRC, we're going to return for the Alabama 150. We're going to go super speedway racing at Talladega on October 22nd. Sean's going to see you then. I'll be off. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Eastern. Congrats again to Jeff Ward on that dominating performance here tonight. For Dougie Beard, Joe Peak, and Sean Ambrose, I'm Adam Young. Race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.